I'm trying to bring the charm back to our 1930s cottage, and this week, the ugly, rusty porch railings are finally coming down. The window boxes and trellises helped so much, but the front porch still doesn't feel like the cottage I'm picturing. So today, we're taking a much needed step towards making the whole entrance feel softer, lighter, and more in keeping with the style of the house. If you're new here, I post weekly videos featuring the ongoing restoration and renovation of our 1930s cottage, and I've got lots more in store. I'm trying to bring lots of cottage character and nostalgia both inside and outside the house. And I look back on my Pinterest board frequently, making sure I stay on track with the vision. I want the inside and the outside to feel layered, comfortable, and colorful. Since the house is nearly 100 years old, it's important to me to add a softness that really embraces the imperfections of the house. Because let's face it, that's where the real character is. Before we jump into this week's project, let me quickly catch you up. Last week, I finalized the plan for the front porch, and there are several pieces I'm hoping will make this entrance feel a lot more like the cottage I'm picturing. I want to add porch benches, replace the columns, build custom railings, add lattice to the gable end, and eventually add eyebrow trellises over the windows. I still love the idea of adding the small built-in benches on each side of the front door. So I want the railings to be strong enough and tall enough to work with that plan. But if something happens and I decide I can't do the benches later, I don't want them to be so tall or look awkward just as railings themselves. The whole plan for the benches, if you remember from last week, the whole plan for the benches really hinges on the front doors. No pun intended, but right now the storm doors opening outwards just kind of throw off the whole plan for the benches. It's definitely my goal and I definitely want to add them, but I'm just having to think in incremental steps at this point. Part of me will be really happy when this is over, not only because I want it to look better, but because I'll be relieved when I get back to working on the inside of the cottage. Exterior projects can really push you. I've learned this over the years in so many ways. They're really hard physically, and they're hard on your budget, and they're also just hard to conceptualize because in a house, you're looking at something on a certain scale, like you have your ceiling height and it really doesn't change. You can change light fixtures and yeah, like the lighting might change between morning and night, but the room itself really doesn't change at all. So designing things for outside is a completely different ballgame. You've got like trees and it's just a massive change from the inside. It's a whole different thought process. So you've got physical demands, budget demands, and then just the planning aspect is so different than doing an inside project. So I'll be kind of relieved when this is done, and I really just want to get started. And this week, we're starting with the columns. At least that's the plan, but today I've got a few obstacles to overcome. My truck is still in the shop. I don't have anybody to help me remove the columns and railings, but I'm ready to move forward. I don't want to sit around feeling discouraged because that's what I'm doing, and I feel like that's some kind of messed up form of procrastination. So I'm ready to get to work. And let me know what you do when things get really frustrating like this, because it's reality. Like, I'm trying to make every one of these videos like a TV episode. And I've told everybody, friends and family, that I kind of want to not address the fact that I'm making videos. Like, I just want it to be like you coincidentally see everything that's happening and hear my thought processes, but I don't want to talk a lot about making videos. But I am a normal person doing this on my own, and it's a lot of work, and I love doing things. Like, it's why I'm here. I'm a little bit crazy because I don't ever want to be still, and I've always got something. I have endless ideas. I mean, endless. But I'm gonna have to get them out of my head, just like with the porch. I'm gonna have to do what I can do to move forward, and when I do that, I've found that things always fall into place. So Right now, I'm not sure when my truck is going to get out of the shop, and I'm not sure when anybody's going to be able to help me take these railings down, but it's gonna fall into place. I know it is, but I'm gonna have to do my part. I'm gonna have to put in the work, and that's my favorite thing in the world to do, is to make stuff happen. So instead of focusing on everything that I can't finish this week, I'm gonna have to rein it in and really think about the things that I can accomplish on my own. I can't get frustrated and just throw in the towel. That's not an option. Things are looking too good, and I've started this front porch project, and I want to finish it. I want to see it through. Thankfully, today I'll have Luke's help. Ultimately, the responsibility of all my ideas and goals for renovating the cottage falls on me, but Luke will tell you that over the years he's learned that my projects have benefited us in many ways. It's been a gradual process for him to become not only willing to help, but generally he's eager to see my ideas come to life and happy to help when he has time. Because of the age, the columns are really corroded, and Luke is having to use the grinder to break them loose, so I'm kind of steering clear. There are a few essential steps we've got to take to make sure this process goes smoothly and safely. Before I go into this next part, I just want to say that removing a structural post or load-bearing wall in a house might look simple, but for liability reasons, I highly discourage you from trying this at home without the help of a trained professional. The most important thing we're going to start with is adding an alternative form of support before removing the load-bearing columns. We've already ordered the posts that we're going to use to continue this process around the carport, so they're going to be perfect for this. It's just a temporary solution, and you need to keep in mind the amount of weight that you'll be supporting. We always go overboard with this because why not? What's for cheeseburger?
What?
What's for cheeseburger?
Whatever you would like.
The second step is simple but so important. We're going to measure, measure, measure again. This is serious. We need a snug fit. We're talking Goldilocks and the Three Bears here. Not too big, not too little, just right.
98 and a half it. I mean, with the foot or a little bit taller.
I'm sure all of these details are boring if you're more interested in design, but understanding and learning how stuff works has helped me to become a better designer, and it's helped me to learn how to create beautiful spaces. I can come up with ideas all day long, but to make a successful plan, I've got to understand what works. It helps me to know what my options are and to keep things realistic. A high quality tape measure is so important, and so is the circular saw we're using. I grew up calling them skill saws like Kleenex or Clorox, even though that's the brand name, but the one we have just ends up actually being a skill saw, and I love it. I like the way the handle's angled backwards, it's powerful and smooth, and it makes the cuts super clean. I'll link the tape measures we use below as well. They're double-sided, easy to read, stiff enough to not be aggravating, plus they've held up great so far. There's lots of options here, just don't go for the cheapest one you can buy. It really does make a difference. Skimping on these items is not worth messing up our entire project, so I'm really thankful we have the right tools for the job.
3/4. Well, we know it's not going anywhere.
Our local lumber company is great, and they were able to deliver the pressure-treated 6x6s that we needed for the porch supports. If you're looking to replace the columns on your own porch, you'll see many different options. I chose to go with wood here because it's an appropriate look for the house. It's also budget-friendly, and these treated posts should last many years. I'll add a link below to the same product from Home Depot and Lowe's, but I highly recommend going through a local lumber company if you have one. Their customer service is always better, and they were able to beat both Home Depot and Lowe's on the price of these posts. We did purchase a simple plinth that goes between the bottom of the post and the concrete at Lowe's, and I'll link that below. Our local lumber company didn't carry this exact product, and I couldn't find it at Home Depot either. I wanted something that wasn't metal and therefore wouldn't rust, since the post will be white, but that was just my preference. It's important to add something that creates space between the concrete and the wood. It prevents moisture from getting trapped under the post and will significantly increase the life of a wooden post. That brings us to the next step, and no matter how many times we do this, it makes me a little nervous. We have to make room to install our new snug-fitting post, and that means we're going to have to create a little bit of extra space. For this, we're going to have an extra post and a jack. It feels a little bit odd, but it's necessary. This is not our first rodeo with this type of thing, and even though I'm not feeling great today, I'm stepping up to make sure we do this part safely. This is really why you need two people for this. It's just too many moving pieces, and you need another set of eyes to help you watch and another set of hands to help you hold. We're doing the outside corners first, and then we'll add the second post. I haven't decided exactly how far apart I want them to be. We're going to set these first ones and then see how it looks.
Yeah, go below.
This is less scary than when we jacked up the ceiling of our old house.
Does it look right out there? Am I doing anything crazy?
No, it looks good.
Cheers.
Do you want to hold it up there and let me look at like one of those shorter ones? Just to make sure I'm happy with the 4 inches. I mean, I think that looks cute. It still makes a statement, but you clear the doors, obviously. Even if they don't open out, I just feel like it would look weird if they were in the doorway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not about that opening, it's just the visual cut off of the door.
Yeah, so it's on the edge of the door here, and it's on that, has that full rail cover.
You added 1.5 inches.
Yeah, it's 5.5. Same width of the posts. That's what you said you originally wanted.
That is what I originally wanted, but I don't like it being in the door. It exaggerates the fact that it's, or do you think it's fine? Hold it straight. Can you go up there and push the top in a little bit so it's not leaning? I can look at it. We'll just do it like this. I think it looks good when it wasn't leaning so bad. It's less noticeable that it's not symmetrical. And then I can fit one of those rails in there because I know my pattern will fit in there if it's, and I'll just put like a strip behind it. It'll be all matchy-matchy. I've ended up settling on the width of the post as the gap in between, which just so happens to be the width of the rails that I'll be putting, and I'm thinking about putting one right in the center at the bottom with that cutout. I'm not sure on that yet, but I'm anxious to do the front doors and give them a fresh coat of paint. It's starting to all come together, and I'm really excited to have those railings down. I'm really excited with the progress we're making. I just think it looks so much better already. It's going to be a few days before I can paint these treated posts, but I'm going to go ahead and apply a thin layer of shellac-based primer. I'm learning a lot from this house, and it's teaching me patience that I didn't know I could have. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to try to create this look that I have in mind quickly, but I'm learning to enjoy the process on the cottage more than any other house I've worked on. I guess it's because I'm trying to balance the plans with something that I just can't put into words, and I've decided that part will come with time. Many of you have asked me about adding color to the outside, but instead of stressing over that part, I'm adding in the elements that I know need to change, the concrete things, and waiting for the house to tell me the rest. Transformations are great, and we're definitely getting there, but it just takes time. It's not necessarily a feeling of being overwhelmed, it's just being determined to see the house look good, to see it beautiful, to see it look a certain way. And keeping all those goals in mind really keeps me motivated, especially in light of all the roadblocks I've hit recently. I hope y'all can hear me. I don't know if you can see me. I said that I would talk about how we hung these boxes in this week's video, and I've just got a few minutes. I wanted to explain really quickly. Cut myself off. It's pretty simple how we hung them. First of all, there's no dirt in these at all. They're just pots so that I can take them out. Let me take a couple of them out so you can see. So the window box is basically just like a U shape, and then inside the front here ledge there is one solid 2x4 that runs the length of the box, and that gave us the ability to take these L brackets that I got at Lowe's, and I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that? Can you see these? And I did raise that 2x4 up just a little bit, just slightly, so that you wouldn't see the L bracket from the bottom. And that gave us the ability. The only reason we had to do all the spacing is just because of the way the siding is on the house. And once that was hung, he had this expanded metal. We already had this at home, and he just used the cutting wheel to cut it in strips, so it doesn't look like it's that sturdy, but this stuff is pretty strong. Yeah, it's just screwed directly to the house. The setup might be different if you have like masonry, or I'm trying to get like out of the sun a little bit. The setup might be a little bit different if you have like masonry, or if you have a newer like, stick framed house, because you'll have to deal with spacing of your studs in the wall. This house, being as it's so old, is kind of like balloon framed, so there's more structural elements on the outside walls that run like perpendicular and vertical, and then there's also still wood siding under here, so it was not an issue at all. Just screwing directly into the wood, so we didn't have to do any kind of anchoring or anything. So it's really, really simple. And then because these are in pots, I can swap the plants out. I can, like this summer, if they get a little bit more stressed, I can take them out and like sit them in water and like let them get really, really saturated. And then I can also, around the holidays, swap it out for like faux stuff, or I hope y'all can see me, or I can put like some little Christmas balls in here. I don't know. We've still got to take this window down. This piece of trim is driving me nuts. I want to take these screens off, and I really want to take the storm windows off completely, do a little bit of repairing on the wood windows, paint the storm windows, the trim around them, which will be a little bit of a process to make sure that the paint sticks okay, and then put them back up. But I'm really, really happy with these window boxes. I do have some of that coconut fiber pot lining in most of this. I'm a few pieces short, but this side doesn't get as much sun. I added one to that side, but this side gets shade earlier in the day. It's like southeast facing, mainly east, but this is the north edge of the southeast facing side of the house, if that makes any sense. Anyways, I think we're gonna wrap it up for the day, and I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully I can work on finishing up these columns, get everything painted, and I'm really trying to find a Peggy Martin rose to go on here so that it can grow up. And we've still got to do the gable end. It's lots of bits and pieces, and at this point it's starting to get really hot, so I think that we're going to try to work on the carport, and then I'm going to wrap up the outside for a little while and start working on some inside projects. So if you're looking forward to some more like design stuff, you'll really enjoy that. But I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.